Welcome back. Happy Thursday. We are ready to see together how Magic Plan works because it's that time of the month again. So we will see how to get started, where you find what. And please, if you will have any questions, you guys let me know in the comments and we can check together what's your doubt or what's your thought, what the issue that you're having, and we can see how to solve it at best. Okay, I think you can hear me good. Okay, perfect. The comment section, it's depending on where you're watching the live on the side or under this video. And I will take a look here and there. So I will see your questions. If you will have any questions, I can also write you down like this. Okay, I would say that we can start sharing my screen if we are all ready, so we can share it. Let me see if we see it a bit better like this or like this. Maybe I just put myself down here so you can see it a bit bigger. Let me just double check. Yes, I think it's the best option for you guys. Okay, this is what you see when you start. From the very beginning, you downloaded Magic Plan, you have a free version of the app, and you have here this beautiful blank page ready to welcome all your flow plans. Okay, at the bottom, you see some toggles. My project is the main page that will have all your project listed later. Then we have the community, the academy. I'm not going to open them because I have the admin profile, so you would see the emails of other people. We don't want to do that, but please take a look in your app. Then you have my account where you find your settings, right? Interesting here, just to point out, if you started using Magic Plan in app preferences, here you can set the measurement for all your projects. So if you want to have metric, feet or inches, you can set it up here and you're good to go. Okay, but you can also do it anytime. I go back to my projects here. When you start, you have one workspace. If you have more workspaces later, then you will see them listed here, top right, right? We can also change to see. I go in the total clean restoration and we switch. And you see here, I already have several projects. So we can go ahead and create a project together and see a bit how it's structured, where you find what. I tap on the plus, we create a project, and here we go, ready to start. So you see that we have this view. I'm using the iPad, so you see it a bit bigger on your screen, but if you're on your app, it's maybe slightly smaller, but it's still the same structure, right? So we have the project info here. Then we have here the part for flow plans, so where we can create our blueprint. We're going to do it in a second. Then we have the photo section. You could also start with that without having a flow plan on top. Then we have here the scope of work. This is a new section that we added for you guys, but we will talk about this a bit later, not today. Then the estimates, if you added estimates to your flow plan, to your project. And last but not least, you have the files section at the bottom. So if you generate a PDF or JPEG, PNG, whatever kind of file you would like to then export, then they will all be listed here under files. Okay. Until here, I think that it's clear, right? And now we go into the next question that some of you may have in general. How do I start with my flow plan? Super simple. We tap on the plus in flow plans and we select the ground floor. As an example, I close the info section because I don't need it right now. We tap on insert room, and as simple as that, we can start. In general, I start with like at a square room, draw room. I would like to start with the last option here because it's, I think, several weeks or months that we don't take a look at it, but I got some questions from you guys while offline. So we start with import and draw. Let's do from photo library. I'm going to import an image. Okay, so we select this floor plan, for example, and here we can draw on our floor plan. So we need to set the scale. Just position it, for example, here. Okay. And then we can tap on, let's do it this length, like this. I will pretend that this wall is like 2 meters 50 because it's a good size. We could also take a wall that it's more or less that size, so it's more realistic and you don't tell me afterward, but you did it as if. Okay, let's take this wall here. Let's tap on done. We set the scale. I have metric as unit, so 2.5 as set the scale length. And here we go. So now we can draw on this image, right? So we can do insert room and we can do draw room. Let's say that this is a living room and we can simply tap on the corner. I'm just going to do it quickly so that you see a bit. If you see an error, don't worry, undo arrow on the top right and you can redo that. I go a bit farther down, but we can also change it later. Then I'm going to tap here, 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 zack, zack, and here we go. Okay, and we hide the image in our back. You see that we have it. Then, of course, you can do it quickly, and then later you can reshape every single wall. You can move the corners and do everything that you need. Okay, so you could say, okay, this is not correct. Okay, and I move it so that it is representing the reality. Okay, so don't worry, but you can do it like that if you have a project that you created on with pen and paper in a different app or program. You can import the image and you draw on it, and then once you have it, you have your room or more rooms, then you can tap on insert room and you go ahead also with the other options. If you want, you can also use the LiDAR options on top. We are not using them right now because we will do a dedicated video for that, but we did it a couple of weeks ago. So if you go back in the live section on YouTube, you will find it. And we just use the LiDAR scan and like auto scan and manual scan to create rooms. So you can take a look there. We will redo it. No panic. But let's add a square room right now. So we can say, let's add a bathroom. Then I can tap on edit layout and I can assemble my rooms. It doesn't make sense like this because the living room it's really big, but no worries. Now we're going to edit it also. So let's say that we have this giant room, we can enter it, right? And we could, for example, create more rooms. So we can tap here and split the room from the left side menu. Okay, so you see we have a smaller room. We could go into it and it's not a living room. So we open the info section and we rename it as kitchen as an example. Okay, we can also change the color. We can make it a bit more orange. Okay, perfect. Now, let's say that we want to add something like some bedrooms, right? So we can do the same thing. We enter the room, we tap on the wall, we split the room like this, and we could also split this other room into more rooms. But first of all, I'm going to rename it as bedroom. So I can tap on here and split the room again. So I have this bedroom that we rename as bedroom 1, and this one that can be renamed as bedroom 2. As simple as that. Okay, and here we go. So you see that from a giant living room, we went into a more, let's say, a more regular floor plan of an apartment. Okay, now we can say, look, the bathroom, it's bigger than that. It's not this small. Okay, we select the living room. It's just to show you all the options that you have to edit your floor plan, because I perfectly know that when you start using the app, it's not so clear how to do everything. So we see it together, right? So if you already use Magic Plan like a pro, it's maybe a regular thing that you're seeing right now, right? You say, yeah, I know that, but who started using the app maybe doesn't know. Okay, let's tap on this wall because we want to make our bathroom a bit bigger. Okay, so we add a corner from the left side menu. So we take just this part of the wall and we pull it in, because thinking about like this, you always have to create the space when you want to expand a room or add another room. We're going to see it afterward. So now I can enter or I can exit here. So you see that we have the space, right? We can select the bathroom and we select this wall, we pull it out. Okay. You have the green signs helping you, positioning the corners, and voila. If you see that something changed in the measurements, no panic. Still, as we mentioned before, you can make it a bit bigger. I'm going to show you something interesting. Okay, you see that the green sign is here. So I'm moving the wall a bit higher, a bit more up. And now I exit, and you will see something. Ta-da! Now we have dotted lines. Dotted lines mean always that something is not correct, but can be corrected. Okay, we need to select the living room because basically a little bit of this living room wall is going under the bathroom, right? So you have these dotted lines, meaning that it's not really correct, so you have to fix that part. We select the living room and we simply, I zoom in so you see it a bit better, select the wall and we pull it out. And now you see the green sign that is still like a dot, so it's fine. If I exit, voila, no dotted lines. Perfect. Now we want to imagine that we need to add a closet. This is the most typical part that you guys always want to to add. Okay, let's imagine that we would like to add a closet. I'm thinking, where do we want to add the closet? Here. Okay, we create, I said here, but where is here? Here. Okay. In the meantime, hello, hi there, Edward. Hi. Okay. So, what do we have to do? Same exact process. If we want to add a smaller room on a floor plan that is already existing, we have to create the space and add the smaller room. Okay? Don't add the small room on top because you will have dotted lines. Perfect. Okay, we can also do, wait, there is something new in the system. Because I didn't make it too loud. Okay, perfect. Let's select the bedroom. Let's tap here on the wall because we want to create the space there, and we add a corner. Now we take this blue part of the wall and we pull it in, and you see we have our space. Okay, if you need to create a smaller room with corners, take your time, just add more corners. We can also do that, right? Let's do like this here, add a corner. So we pull in this part. So this is our closet. Okay, so you see, take your time, play around, add corners and create the space that you need. Now we have the space. We tap on insert room. We select the option add filler and filler room. We look for the closet. There it is. We tap on it. Okay, now we simply position the arrow there and we let it go. Boom. The closet has been added and you see no dotted lines. So everything is perfect. Okay, we can add some doors maybe. So we make our floor plan a bit beautifuler just in case. So we select this. We can insert from the objects a door. Good idea. Let's go down, hinge door. Okay, you can also use your fingertips to make it wider or smaller, right? Make it a bit wider like this. Now, if I stay here in this main room that touches all my rooms, it's just a case in this case, but we can duplicate this door and move it around, okay? So we don't have to go into each room. We simply go like this. And we say duplicate again, put it here. Then we can, okay, go on the other side. And maybe we want to add something different here. So we can do also insert. No, we don't want to insert a room. We want to insert an object. Okay, doors. and we select something like a glass bypass door. Okay, we put it down there. We can also make it wider because we want to have a bit more of light in our kitchen. Okay, here I just go back one sec here to the door. We can rotate them. We don't want all the door to open inside the entrance. If we don't like something, we can also change it afterwards. So, for example, here, this door, maybe it's not ideal. So we can swap the door and we could add a bypass door without glass in this case. And this one can also be rotated. Okay, like this one more time. Okay, we like it like that. Let's have a look. Okay, doc. Looks cute. Ah, you know what? We have to duplicate it one more time because we don't have the door in our bathroom, which is necessary. Okay, let me rotate it like this so we have more space in our room. Okay, doke. Now let's add something just to have a bit of maybe light, like maybe some window here. So we could do like this, insert object, and then we go to the windows. We can also drag and drop the objects if we want, right? So we can take it and position it here, then take it and position it here. So you don't have to open every time the object library. Then I could also select a different kind of window, like French window. Let's add it in here, but let me, I didn't want to reshape it. I liked it like this. Let me go out. Okay, perfect. Now I can go into my bedroom too and add the window here. The last use object will be here. Okay, you have a list up there, so you can also take it, drag and drop it. Now we're going to change the room, and we do the same object. Take it, drag and drop. Okay. Also, if we go in the elevation view from the bottom, we can play around with the wall objects in there. So it's more realistic, I would say. In this case, we could say we have enough space, we duplicate the window, we have two windows. Boom, like this. And we can go back to 2D. I went to 3D, but we don't have a lot to see yet. We can add some more objects maybe, so it's a bit beautifuler. So same thing, I redo it. If we select the wall here, we go in the elevation view, we move the window like this, and we can duplicate it like this. And if we don't like it, we can swap the window directly from this view. We can say, okay, I like this window. I want to change this one too. So we also use this one. Perfect. Nice. Let's go to 2D. Okay. I'm not going to add windows everywhere, otherwise tomorrow we'll still here adding windows, but we can add something from the object library. So we also see something interesting, I would say. We can look for an object in here called steer. So we can add it maybe in here. We can also reshape it a bit and we position the steer here. Okay, we can make it a bit wider. Okay, perfect. Now, if I go in the info section of the object, I can take a look at width, depth, height. I can also change them from here, right? I can include the dimensions above in the PDF if I want to generate a report PDF afterward. And here we can say this stair leads to upper floor. Okay, are we happy with that? Perfect. Then we leave it like this. Otherwise, you can change to lower floor. And if you don't want to have the arrow, you can hide it. Okay, up to you what you prefer, what you need to display. Okie doke. Now let's stay here in the living room and insert something additional, maybe from the furniture, so we can also take a look at the category itself. So let's see here. What do we have that we would like to use? Well, we can add a carpet. I'm gonna make it bigger like this. Okay. We like it like this? Yes. It's not perfectly as big as the room, but it's okay. I'm trying to let it fit inside the room. like this. Okay, va bene. I think it's good. Okay, in the middle. Now we can insert something additional from the furniture still. Let's say that we would love to have something cozy in here. Just look, I went out. Sorry, let's take a look again. Furniture. We could add a sofa, but we could also add, okay, let's add a three-seater. We are going to add it in maybe here. Okay, then I'm going to add something more. Let's see. Ah, you know what? Let's look for a table that we could put in that beautiful corner that we have. So we could say, please, let's see what kind of table we could add there. Maybe we want to add just a little dining table with two chairs, like a romantic corner here. We could add plants and everything that we would like to add, but we leave it like this for now. Okay, just to have something in here. And we can also, let me see, insert a little table. I can take something from my own objects, like here, the coffee table, and I'm going to duplicate this couch so we can position it here. This is super quick, guys. Yeah, just so that you know. But if you have time, if you want to do like your renovation, your floor plan for restoration, whatever you need to do, you can do it quickly. You can do it without any pressure. Like now, it's just to show a bit. Okay. Okay. Do we have any questions until here, or everyone is happy? Okay. Let's see in 3D. Let's have a look. Okay. Now we have a giant carpet, so it's so white, but you see that then you will have a better idea of your floor plan and see how it looks like. I think it's beautiful. It would be perfect with all the little details and all the objects, of course, but it's fine. Now we could also add some photos, some additional information, right? So let's say, okay, in our bathroom we had some water leak issues. Okay, we could also say, okay, we're on site, we want to take a photo. So we select the room, we tap on the info section, photo and notes, and we say, okay, camera, and we can say, okay, there we have Rudy, but let's imagine that we have the water damage. Let's tap on next. Okay, so Rudy is our water damage in this picture. Let's pretend. Okay, so here you see that you have your picture that you take on site, and you can also edit it, as we probably know, or as most of you already know, right? We can select here markup, and we land in the editing phase if we want to indicate something, if you want to redact something, okay, if you want to crop your image, or if you're happy with this, you don't have to, but you can crop it like this. And you can also fine tune it if you want. Once you're happy, you tap on done and save all. And voila. Other option, if you have your photos saved in your library, as we did before, you simply upload your photo here from the library and you're good to go. 1, 2, 10, 100, as many photos as you want. And you can also record videos and attach the 360 images. Someone this week asked me, can I also attach a photo at the project level? Yes, you guys can decide where you want to attach everything. Okay, so let's go back. Here we have our main page, okay, with all little projects, as simple as that. We enter the project and we are at the project level, meaning that if I start from here, I can select camera and I can start adding photos. Here I select project at the project level, okay? Or you also see here the options, right? Videos, photo, and 360 image, okay? So, and you have your photo attached to the project level. More in general, okay? If you enter the floor plan that you created, if you want to create one, you can attach photos here at the floor level. So you see that I'm not inside a specific room, I'm just inside the floor, and you could attach a photo here. And as we did before, you can also enter a room and attach your photo to the room itself, right? If you want to go also more in detail, you can. You can also select an object and attach a photo to the object. You could also add a specific object from the annotations, like the photo object saying, look, there's a major water damage in here. So you can keep the object selected, tap on the plus and add a photo there. Let's add a photo just like this quickly. Okay, next, and save all. And you see, right? So then once you go into detail, you see all the photos attached to the level that you need. Okay, I hope it makes it clear to understand the difference. Okay, but it's pretty simple, I would say, right? So if you guys have questions, you let me know. If you do not have questions, perfect. Okay, now let's go back here to the project level, because now you see that we have something, right? At the beginning was everything empty, everything gray. Now we see that we have our floor plan, our photos. Here we have other sections, and then we have the files, because we could also export our project, right? So we could say here, top right, we tap on the export toggle and we can export different formats. If you want to change anything inside a specific format, you simply tap on the little three lines, the bottom with the three lines near the export format that you would like to use. For example, you can say, okay, sketch files, let me see, what sketch files do I need? Let's generate a PNG, and tap on done. And now we tap on sketch files to generate the file. Give it a second. We don't have a lot of information, so it's quick. And you see it is like this because I have my settings without the room names, but you see the other details, right, as an image. If you want, you can also see how it looks like with the report PDF. Still, same thing. We have the configuration toggle here, right? So you can decide what you want to show or hide and personalize it. Let's generate the report PDF. So we do two different formats. Give it a second. Now here we will have all the details. Now you see the image that I added at the project level. Of course, you do not have to add an image there. If you have an address, you can also add simply the Google Maps image in there, so you know that you have the floor plan, right? And this is basically the address of that specific project. Okay, so here we have just my table because we added that at the project level, but then you see that here we have our beautiful floor plan that we created. Then we have here the bathroom with the photo that we attached. The photos are small here, but you can make them bigger if you want. Still, in the configuration menu, you can decide if you want them to be small, medium, or large. Now we have here the other photo that I added, also a bit bigger because I have the option activated to generate an extra photo report. If you don't do that, then you have them listed once. Then here we have our bedroom 1, bedroom 2, the kitchen, the living room, and here we see if we have other details, everything is listed here. And last but not least, I also activated the option to have the signature, and you can also write the full name. And here we are. All the files are here. Okay. So if you do see all, you can also import your files from your computer, from your mobile device. You can import them here until 100 megabyte per file. So not bigger. And that's it, I would say, to see how it works with the app. If you're new, I think that we saw a lot of information today. Do you guys have any questions about anything specific that you would like me to show you or to discuss with you guys? Of course, it depends on what you would like to create. What's the aim, right, to in creating your floor plan for your work, or if you do it as a as a hobby. We also have some of you guys that use the app as a hobby. It's amazing because I saw projects that are incredibly beautiful. So depending on what you need the app for, you can do adapt it to your needs, right? Because you can add as many photos as you want, videos as you want, annotations, estimates, your scope of work, which is new, and then you generate all the files that you need to export, to share with friends, with colleagues, with clients, right? Okay, I see that we do not have any questions. You guys are super stuck. You can understand everything right away, I see, because if something is not clear, normally you tell me, but maybe can you repeat this and that? But I see that everything seems to be fine. Okay, perfect. Next week, we're going to have a different live videos with my colleague Maxime. I think it's already next week. And we will see together something interesting still, but I will post everything in our social media so you will know when we will have another live video, and you can also see it here on our YouTube channel if you're following the live from YouTube. Otherwise, if you're on another social media on YouTube, you will see the upcoming live webinars that we have. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for your time. Subscribe to our channel if you didn't yet. And as I say at the end of our videos, depending on the time zone where you are, I wish you a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening.